second investigation conducted there, there was 3 team members again, except it was 3 females. It was Brenda, a junior investigator, and myself. Either Brian couldn't make it, and neither could Steve. So we showed up in the museum, and again, we did what we always do in all our investigations, is we take baseline readings, humidity readings, EMF readings, temperature readings, even sound readings, to see how it's, to basically pick up the levels for that night to see if anything's going to interfere with them. And this time the museum was switched around a bit. What happened is the cadets had moved in. And the loft upstairs, where our previous investigation, there was only a couple tables and a Christmas tree. There was now 3 desks in there and big shelves with lots of cadet boots and everything in them. So, and a clock that was constantly ticking really loud. So we knew there was going to be contamination that night. And to our disappointment, a little bit of our disappointment, in the coal room, the cadets have these big locked lockers down there now, and they're storing some other stuff. But what was interesting is that the maintenance in the building were repairing and replacing some of the ductwork in the furnace. So they had actually made some new holes into the brickwork. And there's a theory out there that if a place is haunted or has paranormal activity, when you start making changes to it, construction, maintenance, whatever, that paranormal activity could increase. So I was kind of hoping that maybe we would get something that night, because that could possibly kind of point towards that theory being proven. So anyway, we walked around the building again, and we tried doing an EVP experiment upstairs, but there was a constant ticking of the clock, and there was in one of their desks, they had a stopwatch that was going off every 5 minutes. So we'd be in the middle of the investigation, we'd be like, you know, if you're here, please make a sound, and all of a sudden you hear dee 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 dee. So, and because we respected their equipment and everything like that, we didn't touch it. And I said, okay, well, leave a locked off camera running in here, but we're going to take the other locked off camera downstairs and go to the coal room. Again, the coal room had changed quite a bit, and what I wanted to do was go back there and recreate the situation where both Brians were sitting, where I was sitting, trying to recreate everything to see if we could get those noises again, or maybe figure out exactly where they're from. And we went down there, and Brenda sat where Brian Anderson was as much as she could. She sat in front of the locker. And the junior investigator, she couldn't stand exactly where I was. She had to stand in front of it because there was stuff behind there now. And I actually sat where Brian Nolan was. One of the things that happened is that while we were in there, and I'm trying to repeat the question that Brian Nolan had asked, and it seemed that we had a response, around those line of questioning, we heard footsteps coming down the steps, all 3 of us. Now the interesting thing is that none of our equipment picked it up, even though the EMF went up a little bit. So I went outside and put a digital recorder on the steps, and then I came back in, and we had the door propped open, and I said, if there's anybody there that would like to communicate, why don't you come in? And it was during me asking this, out of the corner of my eye, I saw our junior investigator jump to the other side of the room. And again, this investigator, she may be 18 years old, but she's not really that excitable, but it kind of shocked her, because she said that somebody had grabbed her elbow and pushed her. It wants to make contact. Come in here. That was definite footsteps down those stairs. You heard it, eh?
Yeah.
It's like 1, 2, 3, 4.
I was kind of like in shock.
Okay. And that's not somebody coming in, and that's not somebody coming in. What? What?
Can you just push my elbow?
Somebody pushed your elbow?
Yeah. Okay. I'm not standing there.
Okay. So she was freaked out a little bit, and again, you could say that that's not really evidence. It could be just a younger girl being a little bit excitable. But upon reviewing the data from that point in time of the investigation, reviewed the camera, there was nothing on camera, but there was something caught on audio. And again, if it was natural or man-made, every piece of recording equipment within that area would have picked it up, but it was only one piece of equipment that picked it up.
Oh,
And that's not somebody coming in, and that's not somebody coming, what?
really?
Now, some people on review of hearing it, again, before even telling them what we thought it sounded like, could swear they're hearing a man either wheeze or say out. So, and that's what a couple of us thought, that it sounded like there was a little bit of noise and it sounded like out. And that was interesting. That was caught shortly after she was thrown across the room. The second piece that we caught that night, again in the coal room, we had actually had a weird smell coming into the coal room, and I thought it might have been something coming in through the intake. So this happened while I was outside. I actually went outside and checked the area to see if the smell was coming in from outside, and it was. And during that time, the junior investigator is talking to Brenda, and at one point, another noise appeared, again on the digital recorder, but not on the video.
She said she had how many minutes on it? 57?
Yeah.
Again, if it was natural or man-made, all the equipment would have picked it up. It was just one digital recorder.
So is the Onoway Museum haunted? We cannot say at this time. That is, but with some of the evidence that we captured, we can say that there's possibly something paranormal happening. Whether it's residual or intelligent will require more investigation.